And welcome to Send and Fin, the Dugout Decision Show.
The Blue Jays have won a series. We haven't been able to say that since the end of March? We haven't won a series since the Athletic series. Great to win a series. I know we lost the game today. Tough game to watch, last game of the series. And I've talked about this before. It always hurts when you lose the last game. Even when we lose a series, it feels great when you win the last one. Lose 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers, doesn't matter. You won the last game. Lose, what is it? The Brewer series, you lost the last two. That Tuesday win didn't feel so great, right? Because you lost the last two. So it doesn't feel great to win the last game, but nonetheless, it's our first series win since the end of March. We're on a winning note.
Let's go. Let's go. This is amazing. This series win just it's so well needed. And like if we came into LA against these Angels who are okay. Like this is an okay Angels team. They got a pretty good lineup. Got some good bats in there. Joe Adell, Mike Trout, Zach Neto, like a bunch of solid players. But if you were to lose to this team, I'm not feeling too good. Even when you get all the guys coming back and hey, like Trey Savage isn't looking too hot. We'll get into that later. But all of these guys coming back, it's you got to take advantage of these lesser teams that you face, and we've said that with the Rockies and the
Yeah.
Twins and everything like that. But you face a team like the Angels, it sure is nice to take advantage. And we didn't sweep, but we still won the series. And as you said. Closing it out with a loss just kind of dampens the mood,
Yeah.
but let's bring it right back up. We won the series. It's been a long time, and let's go. We're back on the road, baby.
Yeah. And we can't be too greedy, right? The way this team was playing baseball to ask for
Oh
a
yeah,
sweep against the Angels, which, yes, I know the Angels are not the greatest team, but they got a couple of guys. I remember they got Mike Trout there still, of course, went deep today. I just knew at some point the guy was going to go deep in the series. Like, okay, Jordan Romano's there and Yusei Kikuchi, our old friends, are there. Nick Sandlin, too. Alec Manoah, you ever going to come back? Like, they have some guys on that team, exactly Christian's guy, but like you still want to take the series. The way the team is playing baseball right now, it might have been a little bit much to ask for a sweep. And I'm pretty sure when we did our predictions, we didn't say a sweep. I think I said, you know what? I think my prediction actually came true. I said 2 out of 3. We dropped the Soriano game. Man, I wish we could have taken the Soriano game. That just would have been nice. Such a Jays thing. Win against the guy that has like a .2 ERA. What we got the guy out of the game in like 5 innings. It's like his shortest outing yet. He threw like 90 pitches, something like that. But we had like 3 hits against the guy or 4 hits or something. We couldn't score a run. So that was tough. But nonetheless, like you said, you take a series, as you mentioned as well, not taking those series against the Rockies and the White Sox and the Twins. Like we got swept by the White Sox. Remember, like that was the thing that happened. At least we take a series. And the bats, we mentioned after the Arizona game, that last game of that series, when we put up like what 8 in the first inning, the bats were starting to come around. And why don't we get straight into that? We're starting with some series standouts here. No more struggles. It feels like the last 4 or 5 pods, we're just starting with struggles every single time. Start with the standouts. The guy in the 3 hole every single game, our king, the $500 million man. Vladdy's looking amazing. Had a rough game. Granted, had a rough game in Wednesday. I don't think he picked up a hit. Finally ended his 12-game hitting streak. But this guy's crushing the ball right now. Had a 2-run shot Monday night. Again, 12-game hitting streak. And for a good stretch there, he was leading the league in batting average. This guy's going crazy right now.
yeah. I mean Monday, what was he? 3 for 3, 3 for
Yeah.
4. Like he was killing the ball, and then he hit that tank, and his home runs were just so much fun to watch. And
Yeah.
we've watched him hit for what, like 8 years, and
Yeah.
still every time he hits a bomb, you're like that is just the most beautiful thing ever. So
Yeah.
it's so nice to see Vladdy hit, and he's hit all season. What is he hitting? Like 350, like
Yeah.
OPS of like 950 right now. Like the guy's stats have been incredible, and he's yet to hit for power, which is like insane how he's doing all this without hitting for pop yet. So if you get that power stroke back, and we've talked about that the past few episodes as well, where are we feeling greedy because Vladdy's been really good, but we need some pop, and if
Yeah.
he can start hit some tanks, that would be great for this Blue Jays team, and his stats are gonna like elevate far past what he is right now, which is still like a silver slugger esque, which is crazy. So, and then the hitting streak comes to an end, whatever. But awesome. It's awesome that Vladdy's being a solid presence in this Blue Jays lineup. And in the past, we talked about, oh, like Vladdy gets off to a slow start in April, whatever. This is not a slow start. This is like A slow start is what you see over in Queens, New York, and
Oh my
Francisco
God.
Lindor just forgetting how to play baseball, and Bo Bichette.
Oh,
Uh, like, no, this is not a slow
yeah.
start here from Vladdy, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else he can do in a few weeks once he starts clicking. And then uh, who else better to follow Vladdy than our guy Lenyn Sosa, right? So
Yeah.
Lenyn Sosa had a huge double yesterday as well. That was a huge hit into the gap, and that was huge for the game. And the Blue Jays won yesterday, which was a big one. And today he had a super sick catch. This was like an insane catch. I thought there was no way that he was going to catch this ball, and it was in a critical situation. I think it was what first inning. It was first inning, yeah.
Yeah.
And Eric, we'll get to Eric
We'll
Lauer, and
get,
Eric
yeah.
Lauer had guys on all day, and that included the first inning, and you had to get out of that. And what did Lenyn Sosa do? He caught it over Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who was sitting in the dugout. And as Joe Siddall noted, he didn't make an effort to get out of the way. He just like kind of leaned forward,
Yeah.
and then Sosa leaned over Vladdy to catch the ball, which was a critical moment in this game, even though they lost it. But also just a fun moment for this Blue Jays team.
I don't know how he caught that ball, to be honest. Like the way they were kind of showing it with the camera, they were kind of pulling away as he was getting closer to catching it. And I'm thinking, okay, so it's just going into the stands or something. And then he's got the ball. I'm like, what in the world? And exactly when they show it on replay, Vladdy's just there and he's just kind of doing this. He's just kind of going to the side. And he actually reached like over his back to make the play. I'm like, what are you doing? And they said he was getting out of the way. Is that really getting out of the way? I don't know. Like, help your teammates. I know that's what they were saying on your broadcast. Help your teammate. Tell him where it is. Anyhow, Lenyn Sosa is just the greatest. He doesn't need help from his teammates. He can make the play on his own.
Yeah.
They talked just talking with the bat though about this guy a little bit. They talked in the broadcast about this as well, that they don't know what the profile is with this guy. It's a little strange. Like they don't know, is he a contact hitter? Is he a power hitter? Like he has the tools to do both. That's what I'm thinking. Like 22 home runs he had last year, right? Are we expecting power from this guy when we brought him over from the White Sox, or just contact, poke the ball the other way? I don't know what we're expecting from this guy. When you look at the Savant page, everything's kind of even. Everything's kind of flat. Like I don't know where to project with this guy. You look at like a Jesus Sanchez, you know the exit velos are going to be there, the bat speed's going to be there. He's going to generate some power. I don't know with this guy. Like again, how long is he going to be around? We're going to get to once some of the guys come back, like a George Springer and Addison Barger. Someone's got to go. Like these guys can't be sticking around here forever. Eloy Jimenez, I love you. Lenyn Sosa, love you. But at some point, some of these guys might have to go. I don't know. Is it going to be Lenyn Sosa? Is it going to be Eloy? We'll get to that. But if it is Sosa, maybe that's the case because you don't really know what the profile is. Like he has some pitches, man, they're like at his head and he's just swinging at it. And I'm like, what are you doing? But then he'll foul off pitches, grind out in that bat, and like you said, hit that double to the gap. So it's a little tough to figure out with him right now, but he's probably not going to play every day. If he's going to come in against a lefty off the bench or start against a lefty, I think that's fine. Again, the way the bats were going right now, you're okay with Lenyn Sosa hitting fifth or sixth in that lineup. And for the time being that he's going to be here, he's a good replacement in the middle of that lineup while you're missing some of the guys that are key that are on the injured list right now.
Yeah, and I think he has a better chance of sticking on this roster than, say, an Eloy Jimenez,
Yeah.
who Jimenez has probably performed better than Sosa to this point, but there's just not really a fit for Eloy
Yeah.
because he's pretty much George Springer. Like you're just old and hurt, and we don't
Yeah.
want you out in the
Uh,
outfield, except George Springer has been like solid in the past defensively. Eloy just has not at all. Uh, but those two overlap very, very much, and George is going to play every day, as we know. So I think Lenyn Sosa could be a bit of an IKF per se.
oh.
Um, I hope Lenyn's
Okay.
not watching the podcast and just gotten insulted from that
Oh my
comp, but
God.
like like a utility guy who can just play every position. He's looked fine defensively. I think a ball hit his glove and he didn't catch it today or something and,
Yeah.
and didn't make the play. But that's probably like the only play I've seen that he hasn't made. Like he's looked fine in the field, and base running's been fine, and bat's been okay, and you can play some positions. Sure, that's a value to this team, especially one where there seems to be a guy getting hurt like every other series. So Yeah, so I think there's a legit role for Lenine Sosa, and also neither of those players have options. So it's
Mm.
just going to be tough to see that happen and which one's going to get DFA'd. And then moving to the next guy who I think could be the MVP of this ball club right now. Like to this
Yeah.
point, I saw a crazy stat today, actually. I wasn't going to say this, but so Mason Miller has been absolutely incredible, right? Every time you look at his stat line, three strikeouts, whatever, one inning pitched. He has a .9 WAR. It's
God.
very early in the season. That's crazy for a reliever. Who's right behind him at .8? It's Louis Varland. Louis Varland is .1 WAR behind Mason Miller, who is in Cy Young conversations right now. And then at .7, it's Riley O'Brien. Whatever with the Cardinals, whatever. But that's insane. It just makes you think as well, like we kind of got our Mason Miller at the deadline last year for what? Kendry Rojas and Alan Roden, like sure. And then who the Padres traded? It's the top prospect in baseball, Leo DeVries. So like that's insane. You're .1 WAR behind Mason Miller, just insane. And he was incredible this series. So Jeff Hoffman, we'll get to Jeff Hoffman once again. He's
Oh
found
man.
a home in the series struggles, but Jeff Hoffman had a hard time yesterday, and then Louis Varland came in, rescued the day, and then on one pitch as well. Absolutely
Yeah.
incredible. And then he won an inning and a third Monday night, three Ks. Three out of four batters Ks. Absolutely incredible. So Jeff Hoffman dropped in my fantasy team. Louis Varland, you're up, and I'm excited to see what his role is. And hey, John Schneider kind of hinted at it today too. He said Jeff
Yeah.
Hoffman's going to have the day off today, and we're going to talk about his role. And John Schneider hasn't talked about that at all, like about a changing of Jeff Hoffman's role. So interesting stuff, interesting stuff. But all that is remaining constant right now is Louis Varland is absolutely crushing it and putting pressure on Hoffman and this Blue Jays management.
Listen, I'll preface by saying this. I'm a humble man, but I'm going to take a little bit of credit for saying all the way back in January. The receipts are here. Go back to the episodes back in January, February. I said it, man. I don't know what can I say. I said
With
make Louis
with the
the closer.
Barger 50 home runs and the Vlad
Okay.
MVP
I
right there,
mean,
right next to it.
yeah. Yeah, sure. But I mean, who Andres Jimenez is leading the team in home runs, so it doesn't look like Dalton Varsho is going to do it either. I mean, we're both wrong on that, but at least with the closing thing, I might have had something there. And what was my reasoning back in January and February before we even got to spring training and saw Jeff Hoffman pull up in an LA hoodie? Before we saw any of that, I said because Louis has the stuff to do it. Hoffman, yes, like that splitter, that's a really nasty pitch when it's on. The heater, it just doesn't stand out to me. Like again, we're seeing like 95, 96 when he's not 98 and he can't seem to ever consistently be 98. It doesn't work. And then of course, what does he do? Yesterday he hits two guys. Like the command is just not there right now. We talked about the confidence just being gone as well. Louis V is a guy that will never lose his confidence. I don't see how that's a guy. I don't care. He has a bad two outings, bad three outings in a row. That guy's not going to lose his confidence. He has that dog mentality in him. And the stuff moves. He doesn't have a flat fastball like Hoffman might have. Everything he has moves. He's got a knuckle curve. He's got a changeup that moves. He's got a sinker that moves a lot. And you know what? He can get it up to 100 miles an hour. The numbers speak for themselves, right? What has he got? Like
The guy's got
13.
a 0 ERA in 13 innings.
Yeah. What, like 20 Ks? Got to be somewhere around there. You
Yeah,
talked about the war
19.
numbers. Yeah, exactly.
19.85 whip.
Yeah.
Insane.
Like the control is there, the velo is there, the stuff is there. What is there? What does he not have that's closer material? And this is this feels so redundant now because we've done this so many times. How many times do we keep talking about should Louis be the closer? Should Louis be the closer? At some point, I think you have to do it. I mean, how many times have I said that? How many times have you said that? Yes, you want to use this guy. They keep saying on the broadcast, and we've said it ourselves, and other shows have said it. Louis is the perfect guy to be a fireman. Put him in high leverage. Put him in the seventh. Put him in the eighth. I mean, the most high leverage is going to be the ninth, usually when you have a lead. Like, I get the idea of you have a tie ball game, you want to hold it in the eighth inning. Okay, so then is Louis just going to be a 2 inning guy? Like, does he have to go in the eighth, hold a clutch situation, and then close the game as well? I mean, listen, he's got the durability to do it. I know Jeff Hoffman doesn't. Louis got the durability. The guy pitched in every game of the playoffs. But obviously, that's crazy. We're not going to do that to Louis. I mean, I said after the Arizona series, I remember saying this. I remember asking you this. When we get to the Angel series and the first save opportunity, which was Monday night, the very next day after Sunday, Monday night, who is going to get the ball in the ninth? And we had our answer. It was Jeff Hoffman. Got the save Monday night. Still, I wasn't feeling great going into it, and then of course going into Tuesday, that doesn't go well, and I'm still not feeling great as it's happening, especially afterwards. Same question I'm going to ask here again. Friday night, Cleveland Guardians coming into town. We have a 4-2 lead. Say, who gets the ball in the ninth inning? I think it has to be Louis Varland at this point. Would you agree?
Oh, you're here an animal I have become by 3 days grace, blasting closer's entrance. It's Louis
Yep.
Varland coming out of the bullpen. Okay, uh,
Okay.
I just don't think there's a way you can put Jeff Hoffman back out there in the ninth inning. It's it's for his own sake. Like, would Louis be incredible out of like the fireman role, as you were saying? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be so awesome. We just don't have that luxury right now. Like, we don't. So, uh, it's so tough because you just want Jeff Hoffman to be such a good closer and reliever, and uh,
Yeah.
he still could be a great reliever, just maybe not in the ninth inning, pitching in the most high leverage points of each ball game. So. I think Louis V's got to be the closer. And just looking under the hood at the metrics, you mentioned like him being closer. I kind of gaffed at the idea because if you guys can remember, Louis got like shelled, like barreled up all the time last year. And
Yeah.
this is like a completely different Louis Varland. Not from like a repertoire point, like he's using all the same pitches he used last year. But Avery with Gate 14 podcast, our good friend, brought up a good point, and that's ground ball percentage. Like his ground ball percentage has skyrocketed. His hard contact, average exit velocity, way down. If you have something to do, go look up Louis Varland's baseball savant page because I just did that and my eyes were blessed with a bunch of red. So it's been incredible and obviously it's not like sustainable. This guy's not going to have a 0 ERA.
No.
Just like Jose Soriano isn't going to have like a point 0.4 whatever he has right now because he
Yeah.
had 5 shutout today. But he's incredible. Like it's truly nuts, and I didn't foresee it happening. Like I didn't. They when they acquired him, they mentioned that they kind of wanted to stretch him out as a starter and do that kind of stuff, and then you see him as reliever last year, and you're like, I don't know, man. Um, this guy could be a starter next year, I think, if he keeps this up. But that's if you're like in dire need of a starter, because right now he could be an elite closer. So
Yeah.
props to Louis V. These are some drastic changes, and props to all the guys with the Blue Jays who helped him and developed Louis into this
Yeah.
like insane high end reliever and maybe soon to be closer. And then moving on to Dylan Cease or 1B in the rotation, he had an amazing start. It was a lot, like just a lot of velo, a lot of what he did in the Milwaukee game where his stuff was just nuts.
Yeah.
But again, it's a lot of pitches. The guy threw 110 pitches in 5 innings, which is insane. And that's only with 2 walks. I think that's pretty insane that you throw 110 pitches in 5 innings and you don't have like 6 walks. That just shows how many deep counts you've gone into
Yeah.
and how you're not putting away guys like easily. I wonder what his put away percentage is because I'm sure it's not very high because once he gets to 2 strikes, I'm sure it's a lot of balls, and I'm sure he eventually gets his strikeouts because he had 12 of them, but it just
Yeah.
takes him a while to get to that point. And there's a lot of full counts, a lot of deep counts. But grand scheme of things, looking at his box score, 5 innings, 12 Ks, 2 earned, 2 walks. Great. That's great. If you could go one more inning for us, that would be good. And then you're in like the elite category. But right now, this is still a good start and yeah, like amazing start. But
Yeah.
if you give us one more inning, that's just like a whole other level of Dylan Cease to untap, and maybe he does like lock into that potential. But as of right now, it's just a lot of deep counts and a lot of pitches every start.
I mean, dude, pitch 110, this guy was pumping 100. And I don't know what it is, honestly, with the Angels broadcast or like when the Jays go to play in Anaheim, the ball sounds really crisp. I mean, every time the guys would make contact or Dylan Cease was throwing the ball, it was hitting that glove so hard. Even on pitch 110, this guy was pumping gas. Again, we've talked about this before. We're not used to that kind of velo from a starter, from a reliever, anyone. And this is not a reliever. This is a starter who is, like you said, throwing so many pitches and he's still throwing heat and he's still got a slider that's like 91, which is crazy. And we'll get to, I mean, just imagine, think of a guy like Eric Lauer's fastball's 88. Dylan Cease's slider's like 91. Like, it's just crazy to think. I think like Jacob DeGrom, my guy right here, used to throw a slider that was like 96. I don't think that's ever going to be replicated. That was insane. But still, the velo is obviously incredible. We've talked about with Cease. That's, like you mentioned, the only frustrating part. You tell me 110 pitches, I'm thinking this guy at least got through seven, right? Maybe even eight. No, it's only five. Like the number of 3-2 counts, the 2-2 counts, there's a couple of foul balls. He's going to spike a couple curveballs in the ground. That's just kind of what you get with Dylan Cease. Because, like you said, if he went 8 innings, throwing those 110 pitches, 12 punchies every single time, this guy's literally the Cy Young every single year. And what are the 2 years that he did that where he had a little bit more length? 2022, 2024. What do you know? Top four in Cy Young both of those years. Nearly won it in 2022. If 40-year-old Justin Verlander didn't just age like fine wine, I don't know how he did that. But that's the thing with Cease. Hey, and it's every other year. So does that mean we're shaping up for a good 2026? I'm hoping. But again, it's the inning thing. Like I think I said this a couple weeks ago. If we can settle in for about 5 or 6 innings from Dylan Cease, these kind of strikeout numbers, and like you said, minimizing the walks, because the walks has always been a problem with him. This guy's always leading the league in walks. He'll throw like 170 innings. He's going to walk like 90 to 100 batters, which is just insane to think about. He just put it into context. That's crazy to think that many walks. Two, I mean, it's a lot of pitches. Can you just get 1 and 2 and just end the count? Would be great. But 2 walks, you'll take that. His ERA two on the year, it's hovering right around a two, around like a 1.9, a two,
He's been
low two.
great. He's been really good. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, the strikeout numbers, this guy's leading the league in strikeouts. I think it's 44 on the year and like 25 innings. 25 innings, 44 strikeouts. He's the only guy, I think the stat was since 2020 or 2021, rather, because that 2020 was a shortened year, that every single year he's had over 200 strikeouts. The only guy in the league that's done that. And it certainly looks like he's on pace to do that again. The durability is there. You know this guy is going to make 32, 33 starts. He's going to have like 160 innings though, which is just frustrating because you think of a guy like Chris Bassett got up to 200 innings a couple years ago, right? Kevin Gausman last year, you include the playoffs, this guy was at like 230 innings. If Dylan Cease pitched like 30 innings in the playoffs, I still don't think his total on the year would add up to 200, which sucks. It just sucks. But you know what? For all the people online saying, oh, such an overpay, man, look at the numbers. All I can say is look at the numbers, look at the strikeout stuff. And if this guy figures out a little bit more with his command, he's easily going to become the 1A. I'm sorry, Kevin Gausman. I love you, but like the stuff is just incredible with Dylan Cease. And for the future, this guy is going to be the 1A for a long time.
Yeah, and much better than analytics, and this is coming from an analytics guy as well, is the pure viewing experience. The
Yeah.
viewing experience of watching Dylan Cease is like S tier. It is an
Oh,
incredible
yeah.
watch watching this guy just pump heat. And I don't care if he throws 120 pitches, but it's just like so much fun to watch. And uh, props to Dylan Cease because he's been incredible. Really, outside of that White Sox start, he's been super good. And props to
Yeah.
all the guys with the Blue Jays development team again. Like they've just done a great job. And sure, look away from the plate, and then you throw, then you induce more spin on your fastball. Like, what is going on here? But I love it. I love it. And then moving on to the next guy who's been solid as well. This has been a really good starting pitcher for us so far outside of his debut with the Blue Jays. It's Patrick Corbin, Patty Corbin, and as we have down here, Captain Corbin. Sure, Captain Kirk's gone. We got Captain Corbin here. Whatever, we'll take it. And
Yeah.
I was looking up his season stats, and it's like pretty impressive. It's a 3.68 ERA over 14 and two-thirds innings and a 109 whip. Like, sure, be my five starter every day, bud. So I like it. I like a lot of what Patrick Corbin's doing, and he goes pretty deep into games. This is 5 innings again, 3 Ks, 1 run, 2 walks, and you make Max Scherzer happy. You're his old buddy, and if you can just give us innings and one run ball and roughly that every time, like sure, go for it. And
Yeah.
it'll make things interesting too when you get guys like Trey Savage who could come back his next start, and you sure hope he comes back his next start. If I see Trey Savage go back down to Buffalo again, I don't know what I'm doing. But
Uh,
whatever. But when Trey Savage comes back, I think you easily switch Lauer for your Savage, and then you put Lauer in the bullpen. I don't care what Lauer says. If he goes and cries in the corner of the clubhouse, like
so be it. Yeah.
I don't care how you feel right now. You're not playing well, and we'll get to that. I'm getting ahead of myself here, but what I'm saying is Patrick Corbin is putting in like a good like reputation with this Blue Jays team right now, and he has like uh he has an opportunity to be a starter for quite a few games, and that's all because of the injuries. It's this Blue Jays team with Cody Ponce down and all these guys going down. It leaves guys like Patrick Corbin who are taking this opportunity right now and running with it. And you love to
Yeah.
see it. You love to see a guy who is taking advantage of this because if Patrick Corbin came in and he was throwing like a 6 ERA and getting through like 3 innings, boy, that would just crush us, crush our
Yeah.
bullpen, especially with three starters who haven't looked that good, and Scherzer, Lauer, and maybe it could have been Corbin. So it's huge that Patrick Corbin is being a solidifying force or presence, not a force. It's Patrick Corbin
Yeah.
solidifying presence in this Blue Jays rotation, and it'll make decisions interesting for this Blue Jays team in the next few weeks.
Yeah, like we don't need to go too far expecting Patrick Corbin to become our three or a
No,
two or
no,
something. Like I know I said after that twin start that I never want to see this guy on my baseball team again. Okay, that may have changed a little bit. I mean, granted, he's facing the Angels, but had a good start against the Brewers too. Again, they were missing guys and whatever. So if you put this guy up against the Yankees or Dodgers or something, I'm not sure exactly how he would fare, but facing these weaker lineups as a number five man, eating those innings until some of these guys come back. Yeah, it works. And I was thinking a couple of weeks ago, okay, the easy move is you Savage or Barrio, someone comes back. Patrick Corbin, see you later. 1 year deal. You can go back down to the minors if you want, or you can go to free agency, whatever, we'll cut you. Man, like you said, he might be the guy that sticks around. It's Lauer gone. Like the way he's pitching right now, it's nothing flashy. Again, the strikeout numbers are not going to be there, obviously. I mean, what, 3 strikeouts in 5 innings? It's nothing flashy, but he's getting the job done. You mentioned the season he had last year with the Rangers, because I know I referenced a lot his numbers with the Nationals, which were atrocious from 2020. I think, yeah, 2020 to 2024. Horrible. I think this guy was like the worst pitcher in the league, honestly. I think he had like a 5.5 ERA, 35 home runs given up a year. But it was different with the Rangers last year. Figured something out. Had like a what, a
yeah,
3.8 last year. Some of the Rangers, somewhere around there. You take that every day of the week as your five man. That's kind of like our Jose Barrios type. That's what we expect as a 4 or 5. Give me 150, 160 innings with a 3.5. Now, are we going to get 150 innings out of Patrick Corbin? Not exactly something we were expecting coming into 2026. Still don't think he's going to throw 150 innings for us, but whatever innings he does throw, we're okay with that. Whatever innings you get out of Patrick Corbin, you'll take it out of the 5 spot. And I think Lucas Giolito just got signed by the Padres. But those were kind of the two guys. Yeah, actually finally got signed by a team. Who knows what the money was like? Because this guy was holding out forever to be signed by a team because he wanted like $25 million or something. But looking between those two guys, like we don't have many lefty options, right? Like aside from Eric Lauer, we don't really have a lefty option. If this guy can cover some innings being a lefty, fine. And I know the people that were saying, well, man, that twin start was horrible, and that's going to come back to bite him, and he's going to have another outing like that next time you watch. I mean, again, he had what? He had no spring training. He had one outing at Dunedin. That's it. And he's facing like 18-year-olds. Of course, he looked good against 18-year-olds, like a 10-year vet or whatever he is, a 13-year vet. He's going to look good against 18-year-olds. That was his tune-up, basically. And boom, you're in the major leagues and you're throwing to MLB hitters. Yeah, of course, Ryan Jeffers is going to send you 400 feet to left field. Like that's going to happen. But he settled in fine as a five man. And we'll see what happens. Hoping you Savage is back soon, and we'll see what the corresponding move is. I think for now you got to keep him around. I don't think it's an inevitable thing that, oh, Patrick Corbin, you're gone. Like it's a foregone statement that you're gone. No, I think there's a chance that he sticks around the way he's throwing the ball. And then another guy, speaking of someone who may or may not stick around, we touched on him a little bit earlier, going back to the sticks now, Eloy Jimenez. If this guy could move, the guy's 28 years old. If his legs actually functioned, and think of like Bo last year, whose legs just started, I don't know, becoming crippled by the end. The guy couldn't walk almost. That's kind of the case, sadly, with Eloy Jimenez. This guy is hitting the ball great lately. 3 hits in this series. His average on the year in his short sample size is 381. But I'm sorry, when George Springer comes back, where's this guy going to play? Love you, Eloy. They keep saying he was the number 3 prospect in 2019 behind Vlad and Fernando, but it's 2026. Like, he's not really hitting for power. Why do you have Eloy Jimenez if he's not hitting for power? So great series for Eloy Jimenez, but I don't know exactly what his long-term future looks like with the Jays.
He's been really good with the Jays. I mean, he's up to a 381 on the year batting average.
Yeah,
Like that's as
it's
much as you could
unbelievable.
ask
Yeah.
for. And let's look at the Twitter GMs here who were clamoring for Hendrik Pinongo
Oh
and
yeah.
RJ Schreck, who I'm sure are solid prospects, but I don't think they could make as much of an impact as Eloy Jimenez is doing right now. And so props to Eloy. He's also taking advantage of his opportunity. Will it last that long? I don't know because it just kind of gets complicated with George Springer coming back, as we said before. But looking at the right now, looking at what's happening, good job, Aloy. Good job.
Yeah.
You're doing what we need you to do,
Yeah.
which is hit the ball.
Yeah.
You don't need a field. We're not putting you in the field, man. And you don't need a base run. Just hit the darn ball into the outfield and make an impact offensively. And that's what he's doing. Another guy making an impact offensively after a historically slow start is Nathan Lucas,
Yes, sir.
who has really turned it up. I mean, the guy's hitting 240, which is which is really crazy to think about. It was I don't know if it was like under it might have been like 5 days ago where he was hitting like 080 and now
It
he's
went
hitting
down as low
240.
as point 0.6, a point 0.6 batting average.
Yeah, a point six, which is insane. So props to Nathan Lucas. He seems to be getting healthy very quickly.
Oh
And
yeah.
as I said in the last episode, you don't really know how valuable Nathan Lucas is until he's good. And he just seems super valuable right now. And as the Marjors come back, yeah, and there's going to be a lot of lefty outfielders out there, but Nathan Lucas is doing a heck of a job right now.
Yeah.
And the guy's a multi-hit machine. The guy gets like a 2 hits every day now, and it's so much fun to watch. And props to Nathan Lucas because I'm sure us and many other podcasts and Blue Jays fans out there
Yep.
were really grilling this guy, and now he's turned it around and
Yeah.
done it very quickly. So props to Nathan Lucas. You've been a great player for us in the past week, and we hope to see this carry over for the rest of the season.
Yeah. And okay, listen, I took credit for the Louis Varland thing and credit to me for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I will admit, I'll be the first one to say it that I was very wrong on Nathan Lucas and I was extremely hard on this guy when I mentioned that batting average was dropping and the OPS is dropping below his weight and the guy can't take a walk and he swings at every single pitch and he looks horrible. All the things that I know I said about Nathan Lucas. Once we figured out he had vertigo and then realized, okay, he's actually healthy again, we remembered why he was successful in 2025. Like part of me was still thinking, okay, the vertigo thing, and he comes back and it's all magical again, just like 2025. Because remember, the guy is a career minor leaguer. Like I don't think he made his debut until like 31 years old or something like that. Spent like 10 years in the minors. So still, you're not expecting Nathan Lucas to, I don't know, have a 140 WRC plus. You're not going to expect that. But for this guy to go back to whatever he was last year, which is probably around like what a 105, something like that, probably going to be like a 730, 740 OPS. Fine. I'll be honest. Do I want the guy hitting leadoff every day, which is kind of what we're doing now, ever since he's healthy again? Not exactly long term what you're looking for. We kind of need Springer in the leadoff spot, but the way he's swinging right now, like you said, to get the average from point 0.6 to 240, guy must be hitting like 600 in his last 4 or 5 games. So huge to see him do that. And again, long term, he's not going to be the leadoff man. Maybe we saw him hit a lot in the 2 hole last year. Wherever he's going to hit, have this guy in the 7 spot, have him in the 2 spot, sure, have him in the 8 spot, wherever he is. You're expecting above average production, but nothing exceptional. That's what we want him to get back to. The defense is looking good. I mean, the arm is solid out there. They talked about in the broadcast. He cut off Dalton Varsho today on a short pop up to the outfield because he knew if Varsho gets that ball, he's probably not getting the runner throwing him out at home. The arm is there for Nathan Lucas. The range is there. I mean, the guy can move again. He can see. He's not dizzy anymore. He can actually run around in the outfield. He can see pitches at home plate. And what do you know? The second he can see pitches, he will still swing at a lot of pitches that are low or high or whatever. He still does swing a lot. He's a free swinger. There's no doubt. Even when he's healthy, look at last year. Didn't walk a whole ton. But the point is, he's like a Bo Bichette type where he can hit the ball that's not maybe in the zone. Look at today. He pulled one down the line, and we'll obviously get to the score later that game and some of the guys that let the game get away from us today. But we made a little bit of a comeback in today's game, made it 3-3 at the end. Why? Because Nathan Lucas is getting a splitter that's like a foot below the zone, hooking it to the line and getting a double, driving in a run. That's what he did all series. How many hits do you have in the series? Had a couple of hits in this series. I know he had one game where he had a couple of hits. I think it was Monday's game. Came off the bench, I think actually was Monday's game. Pinch hit single, 2 run score. Like that's what you're expecting out of this guy. Poke the ball to the line, get your butt to second base, and you're doing your job. Give us a 105 WRC plus, and we're okay with that. So glad to see him performing. And then another guy, Ernie Clement, just doing his thing. Another guy where you're not going to expect like a 130 WRC plus. Give us average production, give us a 750 OPS, but the average, man, this guy's racking up hits left and right. What's he up to now? A 323 batting average on the year, 6 hits in this series. Just a hitting machine. I think he's got one of the lowest strikeout rates too. The people that are comparing Vladdy to Luis Ariz, stop that. I told you last episode, stop doing that. Ernie Clement, if you want to compare him maybe to Luis Ariz, don't do that defensively because they're not even in the same realm. I know Ernie had a bit of a fumble today. I don't know what happened there at the end of the game. He kind of dropped the ball, awkward play, the sun's in his eyes. But this guy's been exceptional on defense. And if you want to compare him to Luis Ariz hitting, sure, because I don't think he has a home run yet this year, but he's poking the ball left and right, and he's a perfect guy to have at the bottom of the lineup. He's really producing right now.
Yeah, and just going back to Nathan Lucas as well, I like I can't help myself but fantasize when Barger comes back, what the lineup will
Oh
look like.
yeah,
So I like let's see Addison Barger hitting cleanup. Okay, Jesus Sanchez is hitting cleanup right now. I think you
yeah,
move Sanchez up to the 2 hole, then you move Lucas down. Suddenly, that's a really good bottom of the lineup. You got Kaz starting to perform very well and seem like he's becoming the Okamoto that we acquired.
yeah,
And then you got Clement down there. You got Jimenez who made an impact today as well. We haven't talked
yeah,
about him, but he had a huge double to start that comeback. And yeah, so I think it's starting to be like a good lineup, and that's even without thinking of uh, George Springer and Alejandro Kirk. Alejandro Kirk just feels like he's not coming back for a very long time. But it's starting to get closer and closer, which is nice. I mean, it's late April. What was it like mid-May, something like that was the projected timeline. So
yeah,
we're getting closer. It's not too close, but suddenly that lineup is starting to shape up, and
yeah,
I like it. I like it a lot. And then a guy I just mentioned as well is Ernie Clement, who you started to touch on, and he's been like super good. And at the start of the year and in the spring training, you can't help but think like, okay, was that like postseason a fluke? And is this the Ernie Clement from last regular season who was really good, like 3 WAR player just based off defensive value and contact, but he wasn't like a hitting machine like he was in the postseason. I mean, this guy
yeah,
was crazy in the postseason. So which one are we getting here? Because it's like a 250, 260 hitter or like a 400, 450 hitter in the postseason. Which one are we getting? And it seems like a guy right in the middle. At
yeah,
least right now. 320, 350. I like it. I don't think it's sustainable as well, but it's great. It's so awesome. And he's a shoe-in to like put the bat on the ball, make a
yeah,
good play, make a clutch play. Ernie Clement's very clutch. And that's one thing I love about him. So yeah, thank you, Ernie. You know what? We were down 3 runs. Whatever. Drop the ball. I don't care. I don't care. We'll
yeah,
we'll instead of doing that later in a close game, we'll do that now. The sun was in your eyes. Sure. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. But with the bat, he's been incredible. So props to Ernie. Props to all the guys, Andres, as I said. And now, hey, we lost a game. There were some negatives this series,
yeah,
and we're going to touch on those here with the series struggles. And we're starting here with Eric Lauer. So Eric Lauer goes on the mound. Which Eric Lauer are we seeing today? Well, today we're seeing the Eric Lauer with painter's tape on his neck. I had no idea what was going on there because from my
yeah,
recollection, we haven't heard of a neck issue. And from John Schneider's recollection, he's like, what the heck is on his neck? He had no clue there was a neck problem there. So so I was like, what the heck is going on, man? Is this like cupping therapy that you see on athletes sometimes, and you just see like random circles
Could
like
be.
pepperoni on their back, or is this like a bigger issue here? And then he starts throwing fast. It starts throwing here, and the first pitch of the game, I thought this was hilarious. It's
Yeah.
it's 88 on the corner, and Dan Shulman says. Eric Lauer starting off with a changeup. No, no, no. That is Eric Lauer's fastball at 88 miles per hour. I think 4 miles per hour slower than last year's. And that carried throughout this outing here. And it was like 2 miles per hour, I think, altogether with the averages. Uh, worse than last year and definitely not something you want to see. And what happens when a guy loses his velocity and starts throwing over the middle of the plate? It's bombs, it's tanks, and it's instant offense. And he gave up 2 home runs today. And
Yeah.
he escaped some tough situations as well. I think it was bases loaded, 1 out. Like, and you have Tommy Nance up in the third inning. Like that could have gone like horribly, and
Yeah.
he escaped that. I don't know how. And then he had a few other sticky situations as well that he was able to just get out of. And what was it? Three earned runs today, I think
Yeah.
allowed by Eric Lauer, which is okay when you look at it. That seems to be what he allows like every outing. But then when you look at like all the walks, all the hits, and then you look at the average velocity, and it's tough. It's just
Yeah.
tough right now because you know what Eric Lauer can do. You saw it last year, and the velo was way up last year. It was 93, 94. You just got to get the velo back, and like it's tough to not kind of uh, have something against Eric Lauer based off what he said the last outing. Like
Yeah.
him and his comments, it's tough to root for the guy right now.
Yeah.
As hard as that is to say, um, but yeah, it's just another tough outing for Eric Lauer, and you got to hope he bounces back. It's just
Yeah.
not very hopeful right now, but who knows? He could come out the next start pumping 90, 91, maybe get up to
Yeah.
92. Uh,
Yeah.
that would be better. Maybe 93. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's on our baseball team. We want this guy to perform, obviously. I know you say
Yeah.
it's hard to root for the guy with the comments he's made, and that's very true. I don't feel great watching this guy on the mound, knowing what he said after the game. And then again, with the sickness that he had, I'm thinking before all those comments, they mentioned the sickness. I'm thinking, okay, you're off the hook for the first couple of starts you made. I thought you were good to go for the Diamondbacks game, but was he just so frustrated and he had a little bit of a pout because there was an opener in front of him? I mean, the stuff still didn't look great. We saw a little bit of 90, 91, but still it wasn't great for him. And then again, he comes out today with, you said, like the tape on his neck. And to me, this is what's more important when we talk about the clubhouse last year and how great it was. There's obviously good communication between the players, between the coaches, the staff, everyone. There is zero communication between John Schneider and Eric Lauer right now. Like to think that Schneider had no idea what was going on with his neck, and all of a sudden you see tape on his neck. Never. And they said this on the broadcast. I've never seen a pitcher go out there with tape on his neck, 2 pads on the back of his neck. I've never seen that. It's a little strange because you don't see that very often. To then think that your manager isn't even aware of what's going on until after the game, and then he has to tell the media that, and then Lauer comes
Yeah.
with the comments that he did after the Diamondback start. They
Yeah.
obviously had very little communication before that. The way Schneider was talking after the game as well, like, yeah, that is above his pay grade. There's a little bit of tension right there between those two
Yeah.
guys. And we talked about, like, do we get to the trade deadline and we just say, see you later, buddy? Because if we tell him, okay, Trey Savage is going to come back and you're going to go to the bullpen, and again, he's going to have a fit about it and say, I don't want to do that. Well, what are you going to send this guy to AAA? Like, I don't know, give him the Brendan Little treatment. I don't know, just send him down there and forget about him. He's going to pout even more because he keeps saying he wants to be a starter on another team. And I kept saying, send this guy to the Nationals, send this guy to the White Sox. I don't care. See you later. This stuff you're creating in the clubhouse, we don't need that, man. Like, look at all the guys, the Miles Straws, the Ernie Clements. We talked about these kind of guys that are holding the clubhouse together. This is not what we need in that clubhouse. All the talk of he was the MVP last year and all that. Okay, yeah. But now when you come out and start saying this kind of stuff, it's hard to think. You were the MVP last year and you were the one that was keeping that clubhouse together and gelling. It's a little bit too self centered right now for Eric Lauer. And again, if he was pumping 93, 94, and his ERA wasn't 6.75 on the year, we might be talking a little bit differently. But to keep throwing this guy out there, granted, he gets out of big situations, but you're walking a thin rope with this guy every single time. Can you expect that every time he's going to get into a bases loaded 1 out jam, he's only going to give up 1 run?
Yeah.
Like, it's Eric Lauer after all. If it was Dylan Cease or Kevin Gosman, I might think, yeah, they can get out of that jam 9 times out of 10. I'm not convinced 9 times out of 10 Eric Lauer can keep getting out of jams. So that's kind of where we're at with it. With one of these guys comes back from injury, I wouldn't have said a couple weeks ago that we're going to keep Patrick Corbin and get rid of Eric Lauer, but that's kind of where we're at with it now. I don't know when his next start is going to line up. It's not going to come in the Guardian series. It'll probably come in the Red Sox series. But if you have a couple more outings like this, I don't know what the move is. Like, is it just send him to the bullpen? Is it send him to AAA? I guess you send him in the bullpen, see how he performs for a bit, and if it's still not working, try AAA. I don't know where we're at with Eric Lau. I don't know what the options are like exactly, but the comments right now on the performance, it's just not really warranting an MLB time right now, honestly, if he keeps it up.
Yeah, and Trey Savage is on the precipice of joining this Blue Jays team. Like he's very close. It could even be
Yeah.
the next trip around the rotation. So, and Eric Lauer performed very well out of the bullpen last year. I think it was like a 1.5 ERA compared to like a
Yeah,
3.5, 4 as a
exactly.
starter. So it's not like the guy isn't good out of the bullpen. He's productive. It's just um, his like how he will take that role. Is he going to thrive? Is he going to run with it? At this point, you don't think that he's just going to run with that opportunity.
Yeah.
He's going to find a way to kind of push back against that. So it's tough for Eric Lauer. He performed so well last year, and for that, you still got to keep hope. And yeah, so hopefully Eric Lauer finds his rhythm and finds some more velo and starts performing for this Blue Jays team. Then Tommy Nance, another guy who gave up 2 runs today and now has a 7.2 ERA on the season. Um, he has a 7.2 ERA. Like that just feels kind of crazy just from watching
Yeah.
Tommy Nance. I don't think he was like horrible today. I think like just from watching him purely, I thought his stuff was good. I watched the Mike Trout at bat. I thought his fastball was running like crazy. And you got
Yeah.
that curveball. It's a big loopy curveball that gets some chase. Okay, and then the results just aren't there, and I think a lot of it is command wise with a lot of walks. I think he walked a few guys today as well,
Yeah.
and that just like walks just are brutal coming into the bullpen,
Yeah.
and never leads to good things. So for Tommy Nance, it's a 7.2 ERA to begin the season, and adding that along with him not performing well in spring training and being a close cut to join the team, although he was a pretty early shoe-in. They announced him on the opening day roster like pretty early. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
like
True.
deadline day cut down to the wire like it was for Spencer Miles and Chase Lee. But yeah, so it's just a tough start for Tommy Nance. I'm holding out hope. I think he's going to be okay. And yeah, it's just tough. And he was really good last year. Like when you think about it, what did he have? Like a
Yeah.
3.5 last year ERA?
Even lower. Like, he was in the
Lower,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just nuts for a guy who's been like a journeyman in the minors and up and down
Yeah.
from the majors. So I also think he's out of options as well. That was the big
Yeah.
sticking
Yeah.
point. So
Yeah.
you can't option the guy, and I think he's too valuable to DFA him. So I think you just got to give him more leeway, give him more time, give him more appearances, and in a lesser leverage role. Today,
Yeah.
you didn't have that option because Jeff Hoffman, as we will talk about in a few seconds here, didn't do his job yesterday, which allowed Louis Varland to pitch yesterday, and because of that log jam and everything like that. You had to use Braden Fisher earlier. Braden
Yeah.
Fisher did not look good, and then
No.
did not look good. Gave up that huge hit by Sean Uwell, and then you have to use Tommy Nance. You're just forced to use Tommy Nance in a higher leverage role in a tie game, and it just didn't go well. So, and then
Yeah.
Spencer Miles threw a lot yesterday. Like there's not really a bulk guy who can come in and give you innings like that. So you're forced to go to Tommy Nance and see what he's got. And today he just didn't have it.
There may be a replacement though coming. We have a guy in Jimmy Garcia, speaking of these guys coming back, who's going to come back to the bullpen. I'm sorry, if you're out there saying that you want Tommy Nance over Jimmy Garcia, you
Yeah,
might be a little crazy. Jimmy
yeah.
Garcia, we know, is a guy that can throw 98 with crazy movement. Tommy Nance's stuff is moving, like you said. I mean, that two seam or sinker, whatever he's got going on there, 94, 95, whatever it is. Yeah, it's got good movement. But I'm sorry, I want Jimmy Garcia over that. When you
Oh
think of the
yeah.
guys, the righties, because you could say, well, Joe Mantiply, that's an easy one. Just get him out. He's a lefty. He's doing okay as a lefty. The only other guy we have is Mason Fluharty. So you kind of need Joe Mantiply right now. Spencer Miles is outperforming Tommy Nance right now. Look at the numbers. He's got like a 3 ERA. Speak of a long man, Spencer Miles. We've seen Spencer Miles go 3 innings, 2 innings, push up to almost 4 innings. He can do that as a long man. I think when Jimmy gets closer to coming back, I think unfortunately he is Tommy Nance. And I remember even saying it back in spring training, like it just doesn't really do it for me. There's nothing flashy. They tried him last year in high leverage. The first situation he had in high leverage, they gave him the ninth against the Reds, immediately blew a game. It was like early September, something like that. If it only works in low leverage, and in low leverage, he's got a 7.2 ERA, like the writing might just be on the wall when Jimmy comes back. You know, Braden Fisher's not going anywhere. Tyler Rogers, Jeff Hoffman, I know the way he's performing, but the guy's getting paid $33 million. Jeff Hoffman's not going anywhere. And Louis Varland, four righties that you know are not going anywhere. And then Spencer Miles obviously is the other guy that you can't get rid of because he's a Rule 5 guy. You get rid of him, he goes back to the Giants, right? So the way they're performing right now, I think it's between Tommy Nance and Spencer Miles when Jimmy comes back. And unless Tommy has a like 5 straight scoreless appearances, I'm sorry.
Even then, Spencer Miles has been too valuable, especially with the Rule
Yeah,
5 thing, and he's got
exactly.
to keep him. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I think we might have to pull the plug on Tommy Nance. And again, I said it in spring training. If there's one guy that we might not see by the end of 2026, that was my guy that I picked. Again, it just doesn't really do it for me. Like, great for the guy that I know he's in better shape and his stuff on the field is moving better. But like, again, it's the results. They're talking about these games. Like, again, we talk about the Louis Varland thing, moving him to closer. This is the front office and the manager realizing these games early are important. They're not trying to just throw these games away. And of course, there's extra pressure as the defending AL champions to win these games early in the season. Yeah, you're going to look back in September and think, man, these games in April didn't mean anything. Again, we tied the Yankees last year in wins. You got one less win, you're going to the wild card. These games do mean something. So if Tommy Nance is continuing a 7 ERA and we're into early May, that's when you may have to pull the plug. Do we do it now with Jeff Hoffman? I mean, I think we have
do
to at
it.
some point. Like, again, got the save on Monday. Got the save. I'm thinking, okay, a little bit of mojo back after the Corbin Carroll Grand Slam. ERA is ballooning up to 8. And then again, it goes awry on Tuesday. Like, what did he hit? Two batters on Tuesday night. The command was gone. Again, he has that look where he's like a deer in the headlights. The confidence is completely gone. Recorded just one out. Like, this is, again, it's the Angels. And it doesn't matter what team it is at this point. You cannot rely on Jeff Hoffman to go in there and get a 3 up, 3 down inning. Or even if it's not that, strike out a couple of guys. Maybe there's a couple of base runners, end the game. Give us a little Jordan Romano heart attack, but still end the game. Like, I'll take it like that. He can't do it. He can't even get 3 outs in the ninth inning. Louis has to bail him out, and shout out to him for getting a double play on one pitch. But again, Jeff Hoffman's loading the bases. Like, this is not what you're signing up for when you're paying a guy $11 million to be your closer. There's a reason why I said I didn't think the guy had it to be a closer. It's the stuff. Like the splitter, he's just leaving right over the plate, or I think it's the slider actually. He had one at bat, I think, to who is it, like Logan O'Hoppe or Jorge Soler, and these guys are such free swingers. Like, I'm sorry, Logan O'Hoppe is just not good. He's got like a 190 batting average. Whiffed. It was one of those guys whiffed at like two sliders in the ground. Thinking, great, just throw it there again. No, the next one's 86 right down the middle. Like that just happens with Jeff Hoffman, where he'll just pop a slider and it's right down the middle. Then the fastball is going to sail on him and he hit two batters. I don't know. Like, I'm thinking the eighth inning thing. They tried him in the eighth inning, but then he got shelled by the Diamondbacks. What do you do with him? Like, when Jimmy comes back, give Tyler Rogers the seventh, give Jimmy the eighth, and give Louis the ninth. Is Jeff Hoffman going to be like a sixth inning guy? It's like the Tommy Nance thing. Try Jeff Hoffman in low leverage for a little bit until he gets the confidence back, and then maybe we try it as a closer again.
Yeah, and I didn't stay up Monday night to watch the rest of the game. I watched like the eighth inning and was like, man, it's just way too late. And props to all the Blue Jays fans listening that stayed up because these West Coast games are killing me right now. We're in
Yeah.
Arizona and we're in LA. We're in LA. it's
Yeah.
brutal, and it always seems to be a late April thing. But yeah, I also think a big part of that Monday outing was Tyler Heineman coming out to talk to Jeff Hoffman. I think he allowed the first few guys to get on, and then Tyler Heineman's like, "Dude, your stuff is friggin' nasty. Like, just pump me the ball, and
Yeah.
we'll get out of this." Something to that effect. And three straight Ks. Three straight Ks after that. Okay. Do we have Jeff Hoffman of old back, and do we have that all-star Jeff Hoffman? Do we have our closer solidified? And then you go to the next night, records one out, as you said, and it was a totally different kind of Jeff Hoffman that I saw in this outing. It was very fastball heavy, very, very
Yeah.
fastball heavy. I hadn't seen that many fastballs consecutively or like in 10 pitches that I've seen from Jeff Hoffman. Like he's usually a very even, like maybe 30 30 30 between all three of his pitches. This was like 60% fastball and to start and for the majority of Tuesday's outing. And his fastball is just not good enough to throw it that often. It
Yeah.
just isn't. And it's not consistently located and it's tough. But I kind of like the jumble up of, hey, let's throw more fastballs because it's just not working out throwing three different pitches and doing that evenly. So maybe let's throw more fastballs. Kind of like that concept totally didn't work out. The two straight hit batters
Ugh.
was I think on both fastballs too.
Yeah.
Maybe two
Yeah.
sinkers to righties and
Yeah.
um, yeah, just not good from Jeff Hoffman. And his stuff was consistently there at the start of the year. The command was there, right? He wasn't like walking a bunch of guys and hitting guys. It he may not have looked great when it comes to the outcome wise or a blown save because of an unlucky play in the field, but he was locating. And then you get to that Brewers game where he completely lost it, and it's just I don't know what's going out there for him right now because it's just completely losing command out there and there's no pitch you can rely on because they're all completely missing the zone and not going where you want it to go.
Yeah.
And when you look at the numbers, it's not drastically down. Sure, the fastball velo's down what like a tick, but that's not like egregious, right? You locate the
Yeah.
fastball, the outcomes will come, but as of right now, the command just isn't there, and it's tough because he, as you said, he can't even get through an inning, and it's just brutal, and it leaves your bullpen in a really tough situation as it was left today. And then it leaves the guy coming into the inning in a tough situation as well to clean up for what you did. So it was Louis coming in and bases loaded, one out, I believe, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And talk about the guts and the confidence to go first pitch changeup. Like, what the heck? That's some
Yeah.
lunatic stuff. It's bases loaded, one out in a super high leverage situation. You're the batter. You're Nolan Schanuel. I got to get a big hit here. I'm looking for that 98 down the middle. I know you love it. You got three other pitches, but I know that fastball's coming. Goes changeup. First pitch. Crazy. Lunatic
Yeah.
stuff. Gets the double play. So props to Louis. Talked about him before. Um, but Jeff, as you said, he's got to be in a lower leverage situation. Put him in a game that's not close right now.
Yeah.
To just kind of get his juices flowing, get him a clean inning, as you said in the last episode, just with the lack of clean innings from Jeff Hoffman last year. Get him a few clean innings in lower leverage roles, and hey, Jeff Hoffman with the Phillies, excellent setup guy, excellent eighth inning guy, was an all-star. He's comfortable in that role, you know that. So let's see it. It's just tough to trust him and thrust him into that uh,
Yeah.
eighth inning role because you've got a guy in Tyler Rogers who has been fantastic so far. He's
Yeah.
been incredible. Yesterday, three soft hit balls. It's just the same thing over and over again. They were talking about his rising fastball. Anyways, I'm rambling here, but get him lower leverage and then put him in seventh, eighth inning, and you just can't put him in the ninth inning right now.
Yeah.
You don't have the luxury of putting him out there and just like seeing what happens because we're gonna give you a long leash. You've been given a long leash. Sorry, buddy, who commented on Instagram saying he hasn't had a long leash. The guy had all the save situations you could ever want last year. That's an incredibly long leash. Sure, you did well in the postseason. You come to this season, you're struggling, you're blowing games for us, Jeff. I think it's time, and I think the Blue Jays know it's time as well, as John Schneider said in his press conference. And I think Louis Varland will be in the next save situation.
I think this is where we need to get beyond the analytics versus the feel, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, as the game goes on, and listen, you're an analytics guy yourself, right? This is where the game is headed. It's very numbers heavy, and it's really kind of losing that sense of just trusting your gut. Like, think of an old Jays manager in John Gibbons who would not really go based on the metrics. He knows, okay, is Marco Estrada going to go out there and throw 8 innings? Yeah, I know he can do that because he's got that dog in him. We're kind of losing that as the game goes on, and that's just that's just the result of where the game is at. That's not just a Blue Jays thing. Every team is doing that. Remember the Jose Barrios thing, 2023 playoffs. They take him out after 3 innings. Guy was looking incredible, and then you see him look in the dugout afterwards, thinking, "What if I was out there for 7 innings? I could have diced in this game." Right? The analytics versus the feel. Tell me right now that you mentioned Louis Varland coming out there and having the guts to throw a changeup first pitch, trusting his catcher, trusting the defense, trusting everyone behind him, and himself to throw a changeup. Think of Jeff Hoffman coming in there with an off speed. Let's say Jeff Hoffman came in, bases loaded, 1 out, and threw a slider first pitch. I'm just going to assume it's going to hit the guy or something, or it's going to go in the ground. Like, I don't feel that when Louis Varland comes in the game. And I'm sure for any of you listening out there, you probably feel the same. That you probably feel when Jeff Hoffman comes in the game, you don't have that trust and that confidence that he's going to get the 3 outs, or if he comes in with a couple runners on, that he's not going to let in at least one of those runners. That's what Louis Varland has. He doesn't look like I mentioned the deer in the headlights where he's just kind of lost out there. He knows I'm going to take this ball, I'm going to fire it right past you with all his pitches, 3, 4 pitches, all the pitches Louis has. So we've talked a lot about Hoffman and Louis. I think we just see what happens Friday night. I'm hoping we have a lead against the Guardians Friday night and we get to see it finally for once. They're not going to make it public. They're not just going to come out tomorrow and say, yeah, you know what? Louis the closer. They're going to leave that private. They're going to have those talks internally. John Schneider's going to say, hey, Jeff, come to my office. Let's have a little talk, buddy. I know you're getting paid pretty, but let's have a little bit of a talk right now. And we'll see Friday night what happens. Speaking of the forecast, though, some of the guys that we touched on that could be back maybe for this series, George Springer was running in the series. They said he was running. I mean, that's got to be a good sign when he breaks a toe and he's running again. So we're hoping that he's back Friday night. I'm hoping if he's not back Friday, he's back at least by the end of the series. We know that Alejandro Kirk's going to be out for a while. Don't expect him back anytime soon. But then Addison Barger as well started swinging a bat as well. He's running. My guess is that he's not going to be back for the Guardian series. Maybe it's the Red Sox series, but at least we're getting close to those two guys coming back. And then the question is who goes down. I would say Eloy Jimenez. I mean, if it's Springer coming back, I think it kind of has to be, right? Like you said, keep the versatility of Sosa. Eloy goes down. And then if Trey Savage comes back, if there has to be a corresponding move, where do you go with that? Like, does someone have to go down? Do you have to make room? Maybe it's that move. Maybe they do it separately. Because if you're bringing Springer and Trey back, do two guys have to go? And if it's two guys having to go, are you doing like Eloy Jimenez and see you later, Tommy Nance? Like, I don't know. Where would you go with that right now? Because I feel like that's where I'm at with it. It might just be a Eric Lauer, Tommy Nance thing, and Eloy Jimenez. Like between those three, some of those guys are going to go for the other ones to come back.
I think that just makes the most sense right now. Um, and then you put Eric Lauer into the bullpen. I think
Yeah,
that's just the most logical move. You slot Trey into the rotation, you move Eric to the bullpen and in a long relief spot, and then you just slot Springer right back and lead off and should be an
yeah.
everyday thing. The vibe that I'm getting from Springer and Barger, I don't feel like they're coming back this Friday. That's just how I feel. Like I don't feel
Mm,
like George Springer is fully ready. He's been running at full intensity. He's ready to come back. I don't feel like that. I saw him jogging yesterday. It wasn't full intensity. It's not like I haven't heard that he's hitting like live ABs or full
mm,
intensity yet. So
true.
I don't get the feeling they're coming back this Friday, which is okay. Take another series,
Yeah.
and then we got both the guys coming back the next series. But
Yeah.
That's just feel. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on, but I don't think either of them are coming back. Could be totally wrong. I hope they come back, but could be wrong. I do think Trey Savage doesn't make another start in Buffalo. He's just been down there for a long time. I don't even care what the results were like. He didn't look great. What did he go like 3 innings, like 50
Yeah.
pitches, and wasn't great. But yeah, so it's good to have some guys coming back, get a boost for this Blue Jays team that's starting to look a little better. Will they all come back this upcoming series against Guardians? I don't know. And I think some of the guys will, some of the guys will come back in the series following. But either way, it's really positive thing. And then looking at some pitching matchups here, uh, man, the Guardians have such good starting pitching. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know what they're brewing down there, but it's Gavin Williams Friday night versus Max Scherzer, and I think Gavin Williams has been incredible to start the year. Like his strikeout
Yeah.
numbers are insane. And then Kevin Gausman versus Joey Cantillo. Cantillo is not a guy you can mess around with either. He's been pretty impressive as well. And then the worst of the bunch is Slade Cecconi, who is going Sunday against Dylan Cease. That's the most favorable matchup, I think. So for my predictions here, I will go 2 out of 3 again. We said 2 out of 3 last time, didn't we? Did we
Yeah.
get that right?
Yeah, I got it right because I said the Soriano game we would lose. You said 2 out of 3 as well, but you said that we would win the
Oh,
Soriano.
that's right. Why did I say that? I think we'll go 2 out of 3 here as well. Gavin Williams versus Max Scherzer. I'm not buying it. I think we take the Gosman
Yeah.
Cantillo game, and I think we take the Cease Saccone game. We get
Yeah.
both the games where aces are or aces. I'll call them
Yeah.
aces. They're
Yeah.
both our
Yeah.
ace, and I'll take those games where they're pitching.
Yeah. I like your thinking there. I think the exact same way. I'm thinking along those lines as well. The Scherzer versus Williams game, like it might look rough. That might not be a pretty game. Like you mentioned, Gavin Williams looks crazy. I know they have another guy like Parker Messick who was flirting with a no hitter last time out or a couple of outings ago against the Orioles.
And then
Glad we don't have
Bybee,
to.
like they've got a deep
Yeah,
rotation, man.
they're good at that, man. Remember Shane Bieber a couple years ago? Don't forget he came from the Guardians. Like these guys can develop pitching. Look at Corey Kluber, all those years ago. Guy was like 27, and they turned him into a Cy Young. They have a pitching factory over there. It's all these kind of teams. The Brewers, the Guardians, the Rays. They're really good at this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So props to them for doing that. But yeah, I'm not feeling great about that Scherzer Williams game. Probably thinking we're going to drop that one. And yeah, Joey Cantillo and Slade Cecconi, sure, you're fine starters, but we have our two big dogs going. And again, we talk about how much it sucks to lose the last game of a series. Let's lose the first one, and then we can still win the series and win the last game, and then the vibes will be through the roof.
I
So that's
like
my
it.
prediction as well. And then looking at a little bit of a forecast for some of the series coming up, man, we're not facing a lot of great teams. Like I feel like this is a stretch where we're gonna get a George Springer back. Addison Barger's gonna come back. Trey, let's get the vibes going a little bit here. The weather's heating up. We got the Red Sox coming up. With the Red Sox still look dreadful. I mean, they're still at the bottom of the division. They're like 9-15 now. The Twins coming up, then the Rays. It goes Rays, Angels, Rays. Those next 3 series.
Rays scare me. Like they just do.
Yeah,
I'm sure one of those series is at the Trop, which is
yeah, it
just
will be.
absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know.
That's always the Rays. And I think I said this back in spring training too. We're going to go to the Trop and we're at least losing 2 out of 3. I know that. It's just, are we going to get swept? I don't know. And they're back there now because they missed the Trop last year, right? So they have extra incentive to want to beat us there. But when you look at the forecast, right, of some of these series, the Guardians bats don't really scare you. They got J Ram, but Stephen Kwan, throw some of the names out there, Chase DeLauder, like they got some names, but like it doesn't really scare you. I think this is a series where, again, you have to take 2 to 3, build momentum that way. Take 2 out of 3. We still can't be too greedy and asking for sweeps. We're not quite in that realm yet. Maybe once we get to June, we'll get to June and then we can start asking for sweeps. Take 2 out of 3 and we're in a good spot. And to let the people know who are watching right now, I will not be hosting the pod next week. We will have a very special guest, someone close to us hosting the pod. I will be in a plane as the game is ending Sunday afternoon. I will be traveling to Europe to see family. So Christian will still be here hosting the show. I will be gone and I will be back at some point. I will be filming when I'm in Europe. So don't think I'm going to be gone for the next like 4 or 5 series. But as always, make sure to like, subscribe, comment your thoughts down below, and go Jays.